Hello, my mathematicians. This is Miss Foster with Math in Focus, 3rd grade, Chapter 18, Lesson 2, Congruent Shapes. And here we are with more vocabulary to learn. Remember, friends, to trust the process that Math in Focus has laid out for us. They are going to have you work with new vocabulary in a variety of ways so that you'll be able to learn them really well. The good news for today is that there's some vocabulary words that I think you'll have strong associations with already. In fact, the hardest one is right here in our lesson, congruent shapes. Congruent means a shape that is the exact same shape and the exact same size. There are several different ways that we work with shapes, or that shapes might be manipulated in patterns that we see on our clothes or in our placemats or in paintings. Even in the bricks that I'm looking at outside at my patio, there are congruent shapes, but they're arranged in different ways. And your challenge is to be able to determine if shapes are congruent just by looking at them. So, congruent is same size, same shape. They'll often ask you to trace the figures, cut it out, and check on top of them. I have not done that. Instead, what I've done is just created some new versions of them. So sometimes when I move it, you'll see the one that I created underneath. Sometimes I took those away. So a slide is when we take a pattern piece and we just literally move it over. Or maybe we move it up. Or maybe we move it back. We just slide it over. So this is a word that you probably already know. Watch my arrow going down a slide. It just slides in one direction or the other. And we can use that understanding that we already have to check if shapes are congruent. So here I have two orange arrows. Are they congruent? Well, by laying them right on top of each other, exactly edges to edges, corners to corners, just like when we are folding origami, we can see that they are exactly the same shape and the same size. Let's try this. If I take this green rectangle away from here, looks pretty congruent. Let's check it with this one though. Whoa, exactly the same shape, exactly the same size. They are congruent. Now how about these pink rectangles? Well, I already see that although they are or both triangles, I apologize. Although I can see that they're both triangles, this triangle is a special kind of triangle that has a right corner in it. Right angle, that is 90 degrees. This triangle has only acute angles. And when I try to put them over each other there, well, they just don't match, do they? So these two are not congruent. Now let's think about the word flip. Sometimes in patterns or geometry, the mathematicians or the pattern makers or the artists will flip things to see if they are congruent or not. So here I have two angles and they're facing each other across this line. The line is kind of like, if you wanted to imagine, a mirror. And so let's see, if I take this, and I actually have a tool in here where I can flip it. Let me see, can I flip this like that? I can. And now let's see if I put it right over the other one. Whoa, that's an example of a shape that is congruent. But in the geometric figure, it has been flipped. And you can kind of see that by flipping it, it becomes the mirror image of its of itself. So thinking about these mirror images that happen during a flip, as you get older in math, mathematicians will start to call that reflection. So there's another math geometry word that they're not going to make you learn right now in the 3rd grade lesson, but why not? Makes sense. How about these two? If this is the line, and I take this one and I flip it over the line, well, it didn't seem to do anything different, but do you notice how it's not the same size? It seems like it's the same shape, but not the same size. Not congruent. No. Ooh, what about these guys? All right, I'm going to take this one and flip it. Let's see, left to right, I think. No, let's see. Why is it not listening to me? Please listen. There it goes. And after I flip it, I can see that it is congruent. But it looks a little bit different, doesn't it, when it's flipped? So that's what it looked like in the book before I did all this. So sometimes we take congruent shapes and we slide them and just move them over. Sometimes we flip them. The last thing that mathematicians and pattern makers might do is they might turn them or rotate them around a point. So in figure 7 and figure 8 here, we have these red points. And the question is it the congruent shape? And we're going to figure that out by rotating it, by turning it, and seeing if we can lay it over one another. Now, I will tell you, this would be way easier if I actually just cut it out. The rotation thing on my smartboard is really weird. But do you see? Those two triangles are congruent. This one has just been rotated into a different orientation, sort of like that. How about these two green shapes? Do you think they're congruent? Same shape, same size? Well, I'm going to rotate this one. Let's see. Oh, not quite there. Can I keep rotating it? Ooh. Hey guys, look. What do you think? Are they congruent? I say yes, but I had to rotate it to find that out. What about these shapes? Well, they're not really mirror images of each other, but if I take this one and do you see that? I'm so sorry. I think I went too fast there. Do you see how it has a shorter side here and a longer side here? That's what happened when I tried to trace this using my smartboard tools. The original one has equal sides there, but I think this is a nice version where you can see that it's not flipped. That didn't happen. So if I rotate it around and bring it down here, do you see how they are congruent? That's a rotation. That's a turn. So a great way to do this is to cut out shapes and put them on top of one another. But as time goes on, you were also looking to say, can you develop some intuition about this stuff? So, are these two figures congruent? I am predicting yes. Now we will check by sliding it over, and yes, they are congruent. Same shape, same size. How about these squares? They are the same size, but they are not the same shape. I'm going to go with an N for no. But now let me take this little one and see. Whoa, it went behind there. Aha. Yeah, definitely not congruent. They are very different sizes, aren't they? Ooh, these pentagons. First of all, I am suspecting that some rotation or turning is involved here. But I think they are the same shape and same size. I'm going to put a yes there. That's my prediction. So now I'm going to take this pentagon and rotate it so that these bottom edges look like they're pretty parallel, and boom, they are. They are. How about these two guys? Well, they look to be about the same shape. I'm going to once again predict yes, they are congruent. I think so, but I think I'm going to have to rotate this one to find out. Whoa, look at that. They are congruent, but they had been rotated differently from each other. So, another thing they'll ask you to do in order to show that you are really strong with congruent shapes is they will give you commands about drawing things. So it says, draw two congruent hexagons. Draw a third hexagon that is not congruent. There's a special kind of pen I've learned that I need to use for this. So sometimes we'll use this isometric dot paper, and we can connect the dots here to make a hexagon. Whoa, that didn't work very well, Ms. Foster. Try again. I think I'm not supposed to pick this up. Can I get it to work? Interesting question. Nope, it thinks it's a circle. All right, I'll just try it with my regular pen now. Let's see here. Let's let this be a hexagon, and there will be isometric dot paper that is provided for you as an activity on Seesaw, but you can also print it out, and if you do, please use a straight edge. I'm going to say that this hexagon, if I'd gotten it exactly right, would be congruent with that hexagon. But now I need to draw one that is a different size. So I'm going to go and give each edge 2 spaces in between them. Now, of course, that's not perfect because I don't have a straight edge on my smartboard, but that would be answering that assignment. They also give you an option of using grid paper, which will also be uploaded for you. It says draw 2 congruent shapes. Ooh, it doesn't matter. I can do what I want. I kind of wish that I could do if I had a straight edge on here to help me, but I'm just going to kind of wing it. I'm going to make this shape, and if I'd gotten it straight, would it be congruent to this shape? Maybe if I got right like that. I say yes, but now I'm going to draw one or write one that's not congruent. this right here, it's the same height as this wobbly parallelogram, right? But it's not a parallelogram, so it's not congruent. Then they're also going to give you exciting shapes that you might want to think about. So exciting that I'm going to move myself out of the way. So here we have our flag, the flag for the United States of America. It asks how many stars there are. Well, if you, like me, already know, you're going to write down, whoops, come back here, pen, that there are 50 stars for each of the 50 states. Are all the stars congruent? Are they the same shape? Are they the same size? Yes, they are. Now, what about the stripes? It says identify the ones that are congruent, and I'm going to use some color coding here. So I say that this is congruent to this, 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 is congruent to this. All of those have the same size and the same shape. They do not have the same color, but color is not involved with the word congruent. But look, if I change my colors, there are even more congruent stripes, or rectangles I might like to call them. All the ones I'm checking off blue are congruent to each other. Same size, same shape, different color, but congruence has nothing to do with color. So I've sent you over, you either have workbook B or I've included the pages as a whole chapter as a seesaw activity for you. And you're going to complete pages 203 to 206. Now if you get lost or stuck, rewatch the video, send questions to me in the Seesaw Math Extension folder, or you can show up at my office hours. Or if that doesn't work for you, then I suggest that you do what they asked us to do up here. Use a straight edge and draw things, lots of drawing. Trace things and cut them out if you need to. Remember, congruent means same shape, same size, and shapes can be flipped, turned, or rotated, or slid over. They slide over to make different kind of geometric figures. Hey guys, thanks for playing geometry with you. I love playing math with you. Bye-bye for now.